founder and editor of ClashDaily.com, also co-author of the new book, Would Jesus Vote for Trump? His name is Doug Giles. He joins us again. Doug, how are you, sir?
Paul, what's shaking, big dog?
Man, not a whole lot. I do have this story here about Mitt Romney. This is from The Atlantic. You know, this is a few days ago. This is where we learned about his alter ego on Twitter. And the headline here, The Liberation of Mitt Romney. It's one of these examples of the left loving to celebrate a Republican if they'll criticize other Republicans. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, if your listeners don't know by now, and I don't know how they could not know, that Mitt Romney is flying under the handle on Twitter as Pierre Delecto, man. And Paul, to me, that's a weird revelation, you know. in the article in Atlantic, that's stumping for Mitt Romney, and like you said, you know, making him appear as the sane adult, you know, Republican in the room. We get the revelation that he's flying under Pierre Delecto on Twitter, and he's routinely liking columns that hate Trump and praises him. Bro, that's a sneak peek into a whirring tin brain of narcissism. And I'd like to tell Mitt, if he's listening to us right now, that everything that you are, that we just found out about you, that we held our nose to vote for you against Obama in 2012, is why there's people like Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders, because we're sick of self-preening politicians like you, Mittens.
Mittens. And that's the thing. If you go and look at what this alter ego, this Pierre Delecto has liked, if there's a mainstream media reporter who is critical of Mitt Romney, which that does still happen, he would respond under Pierre Delecto and be like, well, you know, Mitt Romney, you know, he's awesome. You know, you got to remember, he's awesome. And, you know, you just get this feeling. It's like, wow. I mean, I think as a society, and we don't get this often enough, obviously, but we can generally agree that we want our politicians to actually tell us what they think and not, you know, hide what they think behind closed doors, right?
Right. It's so bizarre, man. I mean, I feel like I got to watch like a Disney movie I mean, it's just creepy. I mean, how old is he? He's like 70 plus, something like that. And that's like teenage, you know, antics. To me, it's something that, you know, I've been out there in the public eye for, going on 30 years. 260 million page views over at Clash Daily, 4 bestsellers. I get criticized all the time, and you know what? I don't lurk around. That's what Romney said that he did on Twitter, under pseudonyms, defending myself or critiquing my critics. I don't care. And you'd think some cat like him at this stage of life, you know, that he wouldn't do it, and if he did do it, he would do it, you know, as Mitt Romney instead of the evil chef at Trattoria Lucina, Pierre Delecto.
Hey, talk a little bit about Clash Daily and how you got started, you know, in creating this successful website.
Yeah, so it started in 2012, July 2012, a couple months after Andrew Breitbart died, and Andrew and I were buddies. We got thrown together when my daughter Hannah destroyed Acorn, and so that was a tumultuous time period. And you know, I'm sitting there thinking, you know what, Andrew, he really touched a lot of people through his big government site. That's what it was before it was Breitbart.com. So I was doing a speaking engagement, some television interviews in Atlanta, Georgia, and the guy who owned the parent company that was called at that time Liberty Alliance, he heard my shtick, and he said, "Man," he goes, "let's do a website. I think it would take off." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Let's throw some spaghetti at the wall and see what happens." Like I said earlier, that was 260 million page views ago, so it really took off. Facebook attacked us October 11th, 2018. We had 2 million followers, Paul. 2 million.
Wow.
Which again, it's not, you know, Kardashian numbers, but it's not bad for an ex-drug dealer from West Texas who's just trying to, you know, salvage God and country and traditional values in the United States of liberal acrimony. And we had 20 million to 50 million people that we were reaching per week. I mean, we're killing it, just absolutely killing it. And they're like, you're posting fake news. Like, what's fake about it? You just don't like it, and it's hilarious. And
Yeah.
and it destroys all your dainty little leftists and their vapid ideas that have been tried and found wanting. And then they said we had fake accounts. I was blue check verified. We had to do a double 6-digit password login before we could even get to our business account. Total bull crap. No appeal process whatsoever. And but yeah, that's the left, man. If you don't drink their Kool-Aid, then you know what? You can't play their game. And listen, I get Zuckerberg not liking me. I don't like me a lot of times. But you look at the way that they've knocked Franklin Graham and other people, just completely squelching their reach. And then that zombie-looking weirdo from Mars can sit in front of Congress and tell them, oh, no, we don't suppress ideas or speech. That's a load of garbage. And last person to leave Facebook, bring the American flag. Actually, Paul, I feel relieved when I finally got off Facebook. It was like dating that psycho chick Glenn Close from Fatal Attraction. Always pulling knives on me.
I love it. That's fantastic. Now, on the censorship of conservatives online, are you worried at all about what they're going to attempt to do with the 2020 elections, just completely? Because they believe that it was, quote, fake news, and that's why the president won. That's why Trump won. But, I mean, honestly, what it was an open, free exchange of ideas. And we have their internal memos where they say, you know what, we can't have this much freedom on the Internet. We have to have a civil, decent discourse is what they claim. Are you worried at all about what they might do in 2020?
Oh, absolutely. Again, they started as soon as Trump got behind that desk where Bill boinked Monica, they started ratcheting down our reach. And I mean, you can see it, Paul. I mean, we were screaming. I mean, just and we never changed anything. Didn't change our writers. Didn't change our style. Pro God and country, Judeo-Christian worldview, Mad Magazine, attitude on steroids. We love God, and we'll fight enemies, foreign and Democratic. And once Trump got in the White House, Paul, all of a sudden you start seeing our numbers just starting to go slower and slower. April 2017, boom, here comes the big algorithm change. You can't do any tisk stuff against the left or be pro-Trump. And then, man, October 11, 2018, that's when, like I said, Mark opened the bomb doors of the Enola Gay and let 500 very powerful conservative sites have it. And so I think it's desperation time, and desperate people, you never want to go in and try to deal with them because they're coming at you with razor blades and lemon juice. So I think it's going to get bad. Some people are going to lose all their traffic. And the thing that we did that was wise is that we constantly built our mailing list. And if you're a publisher, if you're a conservative, if you're out there and you got a voice and you're not going to take the left's crap, man, I hope you have a big mailing list. Because if you're wholly dependent on a platform like Facebook for your traffic, man, you're remodeling a house that somebody else owns, and they can take it from you at any time.
Yeah.
So, we have stonking mailing lists of 400,000 people, good emails, active emails. So yeah, we took a hit, but we're still doing. We're not doing the 10 million page views per month, but we're still in there from around 500 to 700,000 a month, which most people would kill for.
Yeah,
so,
of course, absolutely.
But I think here's what I think. Here's my prognostication, and I've been known to have a very cloudy crystal ball. I think the pendulum's going to swing back. I think that there's going to be an alternative that Trump's going to have a hand in. He's not going to be the direct, because he can't, but I think he's going to kind of give a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to some coders and some billionaire conservatives that are bringing a competitive platform against Facebook and Twitter that's friendly to this thing called freedom of speech.
I hope that's the case. I really do, because the alternative is government regulation, which I'm always really hesitant to embrace, but I have described it because I mean the amount of power that they have, Facebook and Twitter, to me would be the equivalent of back before the internet. If you were let's say you're driving down the road and you see some people with picket signs on the corner, and you become aware that there's an issue, whatever are on the signs, you were like, oh, there's people that are upset about something and they're protesting. Oh, okay. Imagine if somebody had the ability as you're driving down the road, just to make them disappear, to mute them, where you can't even see them at all. Nobody would want somebody to have that kind of power. And so, what's a public sidewalk? Is the internet now the public sidewalk? I mean, these are issues that I'm asking. I don't really know what the answer is, but it certainly is a question of our time.
Yeah, I'm with you on the regulatory stuff. My buddies who, again, we're talking, the loss of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. If people think, well, that's interesting, they do a little blogging. No, we were killing it financially. And a lot of these publishers, I mean, we're talking, again, 6 figures, 7 figures, depending on, the size of your page. Not bad money to be made sitting in pajamas. So a lot of those guys and girls are like, we got to sue them. We got to get the government to break them up. It's like, first of all, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. I don't think you're going to win. They probably get sued every 20 seconds. In regards to the regulatory antitrust type stuff, I'm not a fan, man. I'd rather see the, competition. I'd rather see somebody take them out, saw them off at the knees with something slicker, more creative, and again, more friendly to our constitutional rights.
Yeah,
but you look at what I say. Things are going back to bars and churches, man, where people press flesh, talk ideas. Paul, I can't tell you, man, how happy I was to get off damn Facebook. I mean, I saw Breitbart, right before he passed away. He's probably sleeping, 1 or 2 hours a night because of the constant online wars on Facebook and in particular Twitter. And I don't want to live on a stupid social media platform. And I encourage everybody, save yourself from Facebook and Instagram. We can walk away from these morons.
Yeah. One time I heard Andrew Breitbart. I was in Minneapolis for a convention, and he said, this was a long time ago, maybe almost 10 years ago. He said, if we can't sell liberty and freedom, we suck. And I that's always stuck with me about, that's what, the right is actually promoting. We're promoting this idea of liberty and freedom and the rights of the individual. And, he was right then, and I think he's right now.
Well, in my book, Would Jesus Vote for Trump, everybody's like, how can you support, as a Christian, Donald Trump because he's so mouthy and he's so brash? I was like, have you not even given Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John a cursory glance? Because if you reeked of lies, hype, and spin, if you wanted to oppress people, whether you're a politician or a priest back in Jesus' day, man, he's going to publicly put you in his Jesus Holy Ghost wood chipper and expose you in front of people. If you do something stupid at a dinner party and Jesus is there and you say something that's bogus, that again is oppressive, if something that is ridiculous to God and common sense, then you're gonna see Jesus get up in your grill. And the thing that I dig about Trump is, a lot of Christians are like, well, he's just being, too mean, and he just says these things that are too untoward. But and you know who likes it? Half the country, because we're tired of being told that we suck, that our ideas are horrible, that America's a bad country, that Christianity's, just this thing for buckle shoot, 3 teeth, IQ of 50 killjoys, and Trump's standing up for all of it. And that's what biblical leaders do, But Christians have been effeminized, man. I'm telling you. And pastors are the worst, just telling nice little stories. Listen, courage, confidence, boldness, to speak truth to power, those are all characteristics of Jesus. And he was a 30-year-old rebel that kicked up dust on the mean streets in the Middle East, and they killed him for his mouth. Never forget that.
Yeah. Yeah, and he changed the world, too. Even by secular standards. The world was one way before he was here and completely different afterwards. Doug Giles, we appreciate it, sir. Again, your website, classdaily.com, your book, co-author of the book, Would Jesus Vote for Trump? It's always great to have you on, sir. I really appreciate it, and I'd love to do it again sometime.
Yeah, buddy. Stay ready, Paul.